I am agnostic. I am pragmatic. I care about advancing class consciousness first and foremost. My job is to do agitative propaganda. So much so that that was the name of my show when I had one at the Young Turks. That's it. Do I believe that there is a world where we just like take over the Democratic Party and then the Democratic Party becomes a socialist party? No, I don't. It's very unlikely. You know, it's very, very unlikely. What gives?
Антисемитизмом называется распространение вражды к евреям. Когда проклятая еврейская монархия доживала свое последнее время, она старалась натравить темных рабочих и крестьян на евреев.
The Zoran argument is so good. I need to start hitting that more. Every single talking point that they're deploying towards Francesca Hong and Abdul al-Sayed, they deployed towards Zoran Mamdani, both the Republicans and the Democrats alike. That's at the heart of why I say they do not fear our failure, but our success. That's where it comes from. And before all of you newcomers turn around and say, Hasan, Zoran is a generational talent. How dare you compare Francesca Hong to Zoran? Zoran is a generational talent. How dare you compare Abdul al-Sayed to Zoran? He's such a good yapper. He wasn't always a good yapper. He became one. But what he always had was a dream. What he always had were good policies. And what he always had was a good team around him. This is why I say Francesca Hong has the works. She has the most important part of what is necessary, which is a backbone. She's responsive. Zoran Mamdani had great messaging discipline, but he learned to have great messaging discipline. He didn't always have it. So remember that. I'm saying that because I have, I think, some level of influence and experience in this field now, because I was there at the starting point for Zoran. And I've been there from the beginning for Abdul. And I've known about Francesca Hong from the start as well. Shouts out to Michael from Pennsylvania, Caroline, who also interviewed her even before I did. We had made plans to do this interview for a long time. So as someone who has seen this transformation, I'm telling you right now, Francesca Hong has the works. Let thousands
The
Zorans
decade of socialism, it's coming to a neighborhood near you. When I said we were going to let 1,000 Zorans bloom, this is what I meant. We got Claire Valdez and numerous other wonderful DSA candidates that are outperforming expectations tonight. And that's because the American people are tired of the same old business as usual politics, the corruption, the ineptitude, the feckless nature of the Democrats that don't want to fight back against the growth of fascism in this country. This is Americans fighting back. It's only the beginning. The decade of socialism, it's coming.
First, I'd just like to congratulate Dr. Abdul al-Sayed on his victory. He ran a campaign where it was best described by his words of money out of politics, money in your pocket, Medicare for all. And if those simple commitments and beliefs are what drives Representative Johnson to these kinds of conclusions, I think it shows you how deeply out of touch the Republican Party is with the concerns of working class Americans. Because what we have seen is, despite him facing more than $60 million in outside spending, he was able to prevail with a focus on a cost of living crisis and the way in which healthcare is exceedingly out of reach for those who have helped to make this country what it is. First, I'd just like to congratulate Dr. Abdul.
A third of the Democrats right now, their voters right now, identify with the Democratic Socialist tenets right now. So they're gaining steam. The idea that you're going to be able to suppress, by the way, the Democratic Socialists, they're voting as well. You know,
No shade, obviously. Trump is a singular event. I don't think Zoran has to be. Yes, of course. Of course, Trump is not repeatable. And neither was Obama. Zoran, on the other hand, is repeatable. That's why, if you recall, if you go back to my speech that I delivered at the New York City DSA Slate rally, I said, my goal is to make Zoran seem unremarkable. And I meant it. I meant it. That wasn't a diss on Zoran, whom I admire, who I love, who I think is wonderful. Obama is repeatable. That's literally what Zoran is. No, that's not true. Great job. Get a self-avowed capitalist nominated in Michigan. Dude. Please work tirelessly to elect socialists. We cannot allow the Shama Savant electoral defeat to be repeated ever again. I'm a trot. Okay. I love the socialist alternative. I was really excited about Shama Savant. You have to be able to repeat that next time. Real trots only, real socialists only, real socialism on the party ballot. She can win if you vote for her. And unfortunately, you did not vote for her sufficiently because you probably were out delivering pamphlets. And that's the problem. I love pamphlets too. I'm a trot, only trots. I love pamphlets. I love reading pamphlets. I love writing in pamphlets. I love zines. But sometimes we have to drop the pamphlets and go out and vote for real socialist representation. Yeah, bro, everyone who doesn't support entryism is a trot. Okay. So you don't. Beautiful analysis. I mean, I was just assuming that you were a fellow trot like me and a fellow socialist alternative defender. I was just telling you what my tendency is. I'm not, I guess you're not. What's your ideological tendency, comrade? What's your policy? What's your mechanism for change? What's your method for change? I apologize for assuming that you were a fan of Trotsky. What are we thinking? Marxism dictates that the contradictions will inevitably become so glaringly obvious that inevitably capitalism will deteriorate. It will implode. The class contradictions will inevitably resolve themselves. What's the assessment here? Are you a vanguardist? Are we talking like ML? I'm an ML that works with CPUSA and DSA. Hell yeah. Great. I assume DSA left only, right? You wouldn't dare touch electoralism, I suspect. Or are you a guy who's like, I actually work with DSA, but the only candidates that you should be allowed to prop. You're minimizing Shama, and as a Washington 9 voter, that's pretty discouraging. Dude, listen, my attitude on this is simple. You can run as an independent. You can win as an independent. Real talk, her campaign was everywhere. So you're an ML that works with DSA. So, don't you feel like DSA does entryism? Isn't that annoying? I mean, look, DSA does not work with non-socialists, which I respect. DSA did not endorse Abdul al-Sayed, which I respect. I did. It's one of the main debates in the DSA right now. Shouldn't you know this? We are trying to get away from entryism. That's why I said, are you exclusive to the DSA left? What's going on here? By the way, why are you working with DSA? It's clear that they have many caucuses, including and many different tendencies. But obviously, there's plenty of people who are still very much invested in elections. So what's up? I mean, I'm not even stating that we are doing entryism. I've talked about this already. Elections are popularity contests. It has the capacity to offer legitimacy almost overnight, offer legitimacy to your movement. And if you get into a position of power and then deliver on certain aspects of your agenda, you can build more confidence in your movement. So idiots are saying you defended rape again. What school issue was it so I can cite properly? What is it? Liberty University? I was shitting on PragerU's Liberty University clip where they were defending Liberty University's pro-date rape policies, where I said, hey, look, you'll be cordoning off these people away from Gen Pop if they are going to personally choose to go to a pro-date rape school. That was the argument. Isn't DSA entryism at the end of the day, or are you in support of the dirty break? I am agnostic. I am pragmatic. I care about advancing class consciousness first and foremost. My job is to do agitative propaganda. So much so that was the name of my show when I had one at the Young Turks. That's it. Do I believe that there is a world where we just like take over the Democratic Party and then the Democratic Party becomes a socialist party? No, I don't. It's very unlikely, you know? It's very, very unlikely. But it is very funny where people get mad about DSA's work doing entryism and claim that it's entryism. Finally, after what my main critique is that you say you're agnostic, but it feels like the only thing you end up doing is funneling people back into the Democratic Party who will inevitably get let down as people like AOC abandon their progressive politic. Okay, isn't that an opportunity? Isn't that an opportunity? You will have 100,000 more socialists, okay? Maybe tens of millions more socialists that will be frustrated, and they will recognize the contradiction that bourgeois democracy will always lead them down a non-revolutionary path. Shouldn't you be excited at the prospect? Shouldn't you be licking your lips and excited at the prospect that this will only heighten the contradictions, comrade? It just kind of seems like a lot of these people that chirp are chirping because their methods are failures, and they just want to look at something that is succeeding, at least for the time being, and don't want to think about how they can take advantage of the new material conditions and tactically move to build a revolutionary vanguard or a third party. You have every opportunity to do this. You have every opportunity to organize. But instead of going out there and organizing, you're coming in here and yelling at me about how I'm choosing to organize. That's it. And that's the problem, right? I don't even disagree with, what you think might end up happening, okay? But the point I'm trying to make is this is what I'm doing. You have every opportunity to show me wrong, to prove me wrong. You're working on it. I'm open to another perspective. I'm working on it. Okay, but this is not working on it. This is just chirping. You know? Be cooperative, not combative. Boo. Are you telling me that? I'm telling him to be cooperative and not combative. There are probably approximately 10,000 to 20,000 American socialists, if not, let's say 50,000 American socialists before 2016. 50,000 total American socialists. Like self-identifying. Now you have, within the DSA, 120,000 dues-paying members. It's become the largest socialist organization in the country's history. Now you have 1/3 of the Democratic Party saying that they're socialists. None of this would have happened if Bernie didn't decide to run against Hillary Rodham Clinton in 2016 as an open Democratic socialist. I'd go so far as to say that my ideological tendency is far more radical than Bernard's. Having said that, however, I still understand the importance of his run. So if we all recognize that the modern American socialist movement is large part due to the fact that Bernie ran in opposition to one of the establishment figureheads and actually saw a lot of success through the electoral route, then why wouldn't you want to repeat that to the best of our ability? But once again, you always have the opportunity to do your own thing.
Harris, thank you. And right now,
and you launch it off the ground, I'll be there for you. A lot of people get mad when I say, build the Vanguard, King, I'll be there for you. They get so mad at me when I say that. They're like, how dare you? They don't think I'm being sincere. What, you think if you actually built a robust movement, a third party that has real viability and doesn't end up going nowhere, you think I would stand in opposition to that? What are you, fucking stupid? You think I have some kind of like loyalty to the brand Democrat? Why don't you build its systems? No, I mean, that's what he's saying. He wants me to do it. So I'm telling you, like, that's not my method of change. That's not what I think is viable right now. But if you could build it, I will come. No, but you're condescending as hell. No, I don't think that's condescending. I think that's realistic. And you guys just don't like being told no, because some of you treat this like a fan club. Some of you genuinely treat socialism like a gatekept a fandom. You know, that's it. People really need to join DSA and join a faction that ultimately wants what you do like. It's not that hard to understand. Joining DSA is not signing up to phone bank and knock doors. Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Left preparing for war against the party's socialist wing, with one center-left group telling Fox they are lining up a $15 million campaign while warning the insurgency poses a, quote, mortal danger. to Democrats. So I'm John Roberts in New York.
I'm so happy you're here.
You do exist. You're not just a figure in a
I
little
meet
box.
people all the time who don't realize that we anchor in 2 different cities.
Yeah. I know they say it just looks so natural. You guys don't look like you're 200 miles apart.
We're not
But
trying
it's
to
great
fool
to be
you,
less
but-
than 2 feet apart.
Yeah, it's good to have you here in New York. I hope you settled in. All right, I'm Sandra Smith. This is America Reports. Establishment Democrats are now warning the party's leftward shift could hurt their chances in key battleground states, forcing 2028 hopefuls to defend or distance themselves from policies many voters just don't support.
And as the full-scale civil war within the party unfolds, powerful leftist kingmaker Hasan is throwing his weight behind Wisconsin gubernatorial candidate Francesca Hong. As longtime Democrats like James Carville say, they don't want Piker anywhere near the party.
Tell us who Hasan Piker is, James. Oh, he's some guy that's got a podcast and he's out there campaigning with El Said.
Hasan Piker telling us he fantasized about being a rapist.
100% closer to the prison abolitionist. I'm 100% closer to the prison abolitionist perspective than the average American's framework on this issue. Because, oh my God, you guys literally fantasize about the violent crimes that someone might have committed, and you fantasize further about how you need to create an equal vengeance structure. Americans sometimes literally feel like they want to be the rapist murderers.
Yeah. Like as in through the prison system. What the fuck? Yeah, Americans want to murder folks through the prison system because their path towards their understanding of the prison system is that it's supposed to be about vengeance, it's supposed to be about doing violence to people. And through ICE as well. Sometimes it's not even clipped out of context. It's just like doesn't make any sense. Big bro, ain't nobody even watched that clip. Have you forgotten? No, I know, but here's the problem, dude. Then they could just clip me right now at this very moment and then be like, Hasan Piker is pro raping white people or something. Like they could just like say whatever they want as the description of the clip. And I guess they're going to keep doing that. And then they caption it with like, something insane. And then they'll just move on because it doesn't matter because most people don't watch the video. And even less people actually try to understand what I'm saying. And even less people will even go to look for additional context. The clipper got the clip. You said it immediately after the rant of not wanting to murder IDF veterans. Yeah. I wonder if I now have like actual people that are in the chat coming in to say something that's like really fucking annoying. So I respond to it so they can clip it and then send it to RNC or something. Yeah, there's got to be people who just like come in just to try and rage bait me. Now have as if that's new. No, I mean, back in the day it was just like Sex Pestinies community that would do that over and over again. But now it seems like they're collaborating with Fox News. Cedin deden Nesrin baban.